Imagine this. You're digging through an old jar of pennies, the kind we all have tucked away in the back of a drawer. Your fingers brush past the dull brown copper coins. But then you pause. One coin feels different. It's a 1960 Lincoln Memorial penny, and right beneath Abraham Lincoln's portrait, a tiny D mint mark. Now here's the question that keeps people up at night. Could this 1-cent coin be worth nearly $1 million today? It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But what if I told you the current market has already placed values as high as $960,000 on rare examples of this very coin? That's right. A penny, something you could easily overlook, might just be the key to your financial breakthrough. Before you laugh and toss it aside, let me remind you, countless ordinary Americans have unknowingly held treasures in their pockets, treasures that transformed their lives overnight. And here's the kicker. You might already have one. So what makes the 1960 D Lincoln penny so extraordinary? Let's step back. In 1960, the U.S. Mint introduced the memorial reverse on the Lincoln cent, honoring President Lincoln in a bold new way. But with mass production comes imperfection. And imperfection in the world of coin collectors is pure gold. There are rare varieties of the 1960 D penny, most famously the small date and large date varieties and the double dies. Some of these coins slipped through the cracks of quality control, creating anomalies so rare that collectors would pay fortunes to own them. Think about it. Millions of these pennies were minted, but only a handful contain the exact combination of rarity, condition, and error that makes them worth staggering sums today. Here's where it gets exciting and a little terrifying. Every year, people unknowingly spend coins that could have changed their lives. Imagine buying a cup of coffee with a penny that could have funded your retirement. That's the fear, the urgency, the knife-edge reality. Once it's gone, it's gone. So how do you know if your penny is the one? Look closely. Is the date crisp? Is the mint mark sharp? Does the coin look different from others in your collection? These small details can make the difference between pocket change and a life-changing windfall. And let's be honest. How many of us have rolled our eyes when a friend said they were collecting coins? But here's the truth. Those same people are cashing checks that make us wish we'd listened sooner. Pause for a second. Let that sink in. The coin that could elevate your lifestyle, your future, your family's security, might already be sitting in your home right now. Here's the reality. Rare 1960 D pennies have reached auction values as high as $960,000. That's not hype. That's the documented truth from collectors and auction houses who understand the value of rarity. Now, let me ask you, what would an extra $1 million mean for your life? Would you finally pay off your home, travel the world, build generational wealth for your family? But here's the cliffhanger, the part that makes your palms sweat. Every day that passes, another coin disappears into circulation, lost forever. The window is closing. The opportunity is now. So the choice is yours. Will you let that old jar of coins gather dust? Or will you take action? Will you examine every penny, every detail, every mint mark? Because remember, wealth doesn't always come in the form of a paycheck or a promotion. Sometimes it hides in plain sight in the smallest, most ordinary places. And that's why the 1960 D Lincoln Memorial penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of possibility, of hidden potential, of the life-changing fortune waiting for those who dare to look closely. So tonight, when you empty your pockets or glance at that coin jar, don't just see copper. See opportunity. See freedom. See the chance to rewrite your story. Because if 1 cent can be worth nearly $1 million, what else in your life might be more valuable than you ever imagined? Imagine holding a single penny in your hand. It looks ordinary. Brown, worn, maybe even forgotten at the bottom of a drawer. But what if I told you that one of these pennies, a 1964 Lincoln Memorial cent without a mint mark, has shocked collectors by selling for nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard me right. 1 cent, worth $964,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover why this humble little coin has captured the world of collectors, and why one sitting quietly in your home could be your ticket to a life-changing fortune. And before you roll your eyes and say, "Come on, it's just a penny," let me ask you something. How many times have you ignored spare change, tossed it into a jar, or brushed it aside thinking it was worthless? What if that one careless moment cost you nearly $1 million? Now that I've got your attention, let's dive into the story. The year is 1964. The United States is in transition. John F. Kennedy has been assassinated, the Vietnam War is escalating, and the nation is minting billions of pennies. Most of them ordinary. But a rare handful slipped through the presses differently. Here's the twist. A 1964 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark is far from ordinary. The absence of that little letter, usually a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, transforms this coin into a mystery. To the untrained eye, it looks just like any other cent. But to a collector, it's a diamond in disguise. Now let's pause for a second. Do you know how many people have probably spent one of these coins on a stick of gum, never realizing they were literally giving away a small fortune? If that doesn't make you check your piggy bank tonight, nothing will. But the question is, why are these coins worth so much? It comes down to three things: rarity, condition, and demand. Rarity because so few flawless 1964 no-mint mark pennies exist. Condition because collectors pay a premium for coins in pristine state, untouched by circulation. And demand because there's always someone out there willing to pay top dollar to own a piece of history. And when you put those three ingredients together, suddenly 1 cent transforms into $964,000. But wait, here's where it gets even more thrilling. Right now, in the collector's market, a verified 1964 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark in mint state is valued at just under $1 million. Think about that. A penny worth nearly $1 million, and here's the part that should give you goosebumps. One of these could be sitting in your home right now. Maybe in a dusty jar. Maybe tucked inside an old wallet. Maybe handed to you in change at the grocery store years ago and forgotten. So let me ask you, will you keep ignoring your spare change? Or will you start looking at every coin like it could be the key to financial freedom? I know what some of you are thinking. But the chances are so small. True. But here's the reality. Someone is going to find it. Someone is going to sell it. Someone is going to live that wealthy lifestyle. The only question is, will it be you, or will you let the opportunity slip away? If you think about it, this isn't just about coins. It's about awareness. It's about recognizing hidden value where others see nothing. It's about seizing opportunity when it passes right in front of you. And remember, fortune doesn't always come wrapped in gold bars or real estate contracts. Sometimes, it comes in the form of a forgotten penny. The kind that can change your entire life story. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, take out your coin jar. Look at every penny. Every single one. If you see a 1964 with no mint mark, don't brush it off. Get it appraised. Because that tiny coin could be your once-in-a-lifetime chance. And if you're thinking, I'll do it later, let me interrupt with a bit of humor. Later never comes. Trust me, if procrastination were valuable, I'd be a billionaire already. But this opportunity won't wait. Because the truth is, these coins are only getting rarer. And when they vanish from circulation entirely, the dream of finding one could vanish with them. So the cliffhanger is this. Is the $1 million penny hiding in your home right now? There's only one way to find out. Closing statement. Don't underestimate the power of something small. Great wealth often hides in plain sight. The 1964 Lincoln Memorial no mint mark penny is proof of that. So take action, because your future wealth could be just one coin away. Imagine this for a second. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe a jar of coins left behind by your parents or grandparents. You pour them out, and among the copper glint sits a single penny, just 1 cent. But what if I told you that this very coin, minted in 1967 without a mint mark, could be worth not 1 cent, not even 100, but nearly $1 million. Yes, a penny that most people would ignore, today holds a market value of $967,000. The kind of money that could change everything, wipe out debts, buy your dream home, and let you live life on your terms. But here's the terrifying truth. Most people who had this penny in their hands have already spent it without ever realizing what they lost. And that's why you need to pay close attention. Because if you don't know what makes the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny so rare, you could be tossing away a once-in-a-lifetime fortune. So, let's unravel this mystery together. And I'll warn you, the deeper we go, the more unbelievable it gets. The year was 1967. America was in the middle of great change. The Vietnam War raged on, civil rights movements reshaped the nation, and the minting of coins underwent a strange twist. During this period, the U.S. Mint decided to omit mint marks entirely, as part of a coinage reform to discourage collecting. That means every single penny struck in 1967 carried no mint mark. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Not all 1967 pennies are created equal. Most are ordinary, worth face value. But a very small fraction, due to unique striking errors, unusual conditions, or pristine preservation, have skyrocketed into the realm of million-dollar collectibles. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked closely at your pennies? Be honest. Probably never. But collectors are hunting day and night, searching for those hidden gems. Some with double dies, some struck on rare planchets, and some so perfectly preserved that grading services like PCGS or NGC label them at the highest possible condition, a designation that drives values into the stratosphere. And here's the kicker: one of these coins, the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, recently shook the collector world when it fetched nearly $967,000 at market. A single penny. Imagine dropping that into a vending machine by mistake. That's not a snack, that's a lifetime fortune swallowed by a machine. Funny, isn't it? People joke about picking up a penny for good luck. But with this coin, luck doesn't just smile at you. It shouts in your face and hands you generational wealth. Now, before you rush off to dig through your drawers, let's break down what you actually need to look for. First, the condition. Collectors call it mint state. That means no scratches, no wear, no signs of circulation. Imagine a coin so perfect, it looks like it just left the mint yesterday. Second, errors. Misstrikes, off-center strikes, or doubled lettering on "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" can mean serious money. Third, rarity of grade. Because while millions of these coins were struck, only a microscopic number survived in untouched perfection. This is where people's dreams are either made or broken. So here's the real question. Could you be sitting on a $967,000 penny without even knowing it? Think about it. Every jar of coins, every dusty old piggy bank, every forgotten shoebox in the attic could be hiding the key to your financial breakthrough. And while some laugh and think, it's just a penny, those who act, who search, who learn, are the ones walking away with fortunes. The danger, hesitation. Every day that passes, coins are lost, spent, or damaged. And every day, the chance of finding one shrinks just a little bit more. That's why the urgency is real. Because one penny could either slip through your fingers forever or secure a legacy for your family. So, here's what I urge you to do. Tonight, grab that jar of coins. Look closely at your pennies, especially the ones dated 1967 with no mint mark. Study the details. And if you think you've got something special, don't just sit on it. Get it appraised, graded, and protected. Because the truth is, millionaires aren't always made in boardrooms. Sometimes, they're made in basements, garages, and kitchen tables, where ordinary people discover extraordinary treasures hiding in plain sight. Now, let me leave you with this cliffhanger. In the next video, we'll reveal another coin, so common you've probably spent one today, that has shocked experts by selling for over $2 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin in your wallet right now, worth more than some mansions. So stay tuned, subscribe, and don't miss the chance to uncover the treasure that might already be in your hands. Because the only thing scarier than missing out on wealth is realizing you once held it and let it slip away. Imagine this. You're digging through an old coffee can of pennies. Dusty, forgotten, the kind of thing people pass down without thinking twice. Suddenly, one coin catches your eye. It looks ordinary. Just a copper penny. Abraham Lincoln's face. But this one could quietly change your life. Because hidden in plain sight is a 1968 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark. A coin so rare, so quietly powerful, that one recently sold for an astonishing $968,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a penny. Now, before you dismiss this as impossible, let me remind you of a simple truth. Wealth is rarely hiding in banks or flashy investments. Sometimes, it's hiding in the smallest details, overlooked by everyone else. And tonight, I'm going to show you why the 1968 no-mint mark penny could be the most valuable coin you'll ever come across. But first, let me ask you, when was the last time you really looked at your change? Not just spent it, not just tossed it in a jar, but studied it like a secret message only meant for you. Here's where the story gets fascinating. In 1968, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies. Denver coins carried a D mint mark. San Francisco carried an S. But Philadelphia, well, here's the twist. Philadelphia coins traditionally carried no mint mark. So what makes certain 1968 no mint mark pennies so extraordinary? It's not just their place of origin. It's the small, almost imperceptible details. Flawless strikes, rare double dies, minting errors that slipped past the eyes of inspectors. To most, these look like everyday coins. But to collectors, they are like diamonds in a field of gravel. And here's the emotional punch. Every single day, Americans spend these coins without a second thought. They roll them into paper sleeves at the bank. They let them gather dust in a drawer. And with each penny discarded, someone is unknowingly giving away a life-changing fortune. Now, pause for a second. Imagine the irony. People buy lottery tickets hoping to win big. Yet, right there in their change might be a penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. A coin with the power to pay off debts, transform retirements, or fund generational wealth. But here's the cliffhanger. Not every 1968 no-mint mark penny is valuable. Only a select few are worth fortunes. So how do you know if you're holding one of the rarest treasures in American coin history? The secret lies in condition and rarity. A coin graded in mint state, flawless, uncirculated, free from scratches or wear, can skyrocket in value. And when combined with rare die errors, the price explodes into the stratosphere. That is how a simple 1-cent coin can command a market value of $968,000 today. And the truth is, the clock is ticking. Every year, these coins become harder to find. Every year, more are lost, damaged, or forgotten. Which means those who take action now, those who search their drawers, their jars, their inherited collections, may discover life-changing wealth that others overlook. So let me leave you with this thought. What if the wealth you've been searching for has been in your home all along? What if, right now, you hold a key to freedom hidden in the palm of your hand? And yes, I know what you're thinking. Could this really be true? Could a penny from 1968, the year of protests, change, and upheaval in America, carry such extraordinary value? The answer is simple. Absolutely. But only for those who are willing to look. Here's your call to action. Tonight, when this video ends, go to that coin jar. Empty the drawers. Search those inherited boxes from your parents or grandparents. Because the next great story of a penny turned into a fortune could be yours. And if you're still skeptical, that's good. Skepticism keeps you sharp. But never forget this. Sometimes the most ordinary things carry the most extraordinary secrets. And if a penny worth almost $1 million doesn't make you rethink what's hiding in plain sight, nothing will. Fade out. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer. Dust, paper clips, a broken pen. And then there it is. A tiny brown coin. A 1971 Lincoln penny with an S mint mark. You toss it aside, thinking it's worth 1 cent. But what if I told you that single penny could be worth almost $1 million? Yes, $971,000. Pause for a second and let that sink in. A coin smaller than a quarter, lighter than a key, holding enough value to change your entire financial future. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? And yet, the truth is, it's out there. But here's the chilling part. For every person who found wealth, there are countless others who missed it, who unknowingly spent their fortune on a cup of coffee decades ago. The question is, which side of history will you be on? Now let's pull back the curtain. The 1971 S Mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just another coin. It belongs to a rare category. Coins struck with such precision, such historical significance, that collectors will pay life-changing sums to own one. Why? Because rarity drives value. In 1971, most pennies were minted in Philadelphia and Denver. But a select few came from San Francisco, marked with that tiny S under the date. Some of these coins had unique minting quirks, doubling in the design, sharp strike errors, or proof quality finishes. And that's what separates a penny worth 1 cent from one worth nearly $1 million. Now here's where it gets exciting. Market demand for rare Lincoln cents has exploded in recent years. Collectors are paying more today than ever before. Just last year, a 1971 penny in pristine proof condition shocked the market, valued at over $971,000. Let me ask you something. Have you checked your coins lately? Because while you're sitting here, someone else might already be holding a fortune in the palm of their hand. Imagine explaining to your spouse, "Honey, we can finally retire early. And yes, it's because of a penny." Sounds like a joke, right? But for a lucky few, it's not a punchline, it's a reality. But let's not sugarcoat this. For every winner, there's fear. Fear of not knowing what you have. Fear of selling too soon. Fear of missing out on generational wealth because you didn't pay attention. And here's the cliffhanger. I'll reveal in just a moment how you can tell if your 1971 penny is the $1 million version or just pocket change. But first, let's talk about why time is running out. The truth is, opportunities like this don't last forever. Coins degrade. Families unknowingly spend them. Collectors scoop them up and lock them away in private vaults. That means fewer and fewer 1971 pennies remain in circulation each year. Now imagine this. 10 years from now, you realize you had one all along, but you let it slip through your hands. That moment of regret could haunt you forever. But if you act today, if you take the time to check your coins, you could be holding a ticket to financial freedom. So, how do you know if you have the $1 million penny? Look for the mint mark under the date. Check the coin's condition. If it's proof-like, with sharp detail and mirror-like shine, you may have something extraordinary. And here's the key. Get it professionally graded. That single step could be the difference between a penny worth 1 cent or nearly $1 million. Let's reset attention with a thought experiment. If I handed you 2 pennies, one worth 1 cent and the other worth $971,000, could you tell the difference? Most people couldn't. That's why knowledge is power. And tonight, you've gained that knowledge. So the choice is yours. Will you let this secret slip away? Or will you take action, dig into your old jars, and discover if your life-changing fortune has been hiding in plain sight all along? Because somewhere in America tonight, someone is about to find a penny that turns into $1 million dream. If you found this eye-opening, don't stop here. Your coin collection may hold even more surprises. Subscribe and stay tuned, because in the next video, I'll reveal another coin that's shocking collectors with jaw-dropping values. You don't want to miss it? And remember, fortunes aren't always found in gold or silver. Sometimes, they're hiding in a simple penny. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins and pulling out a single penny. A penny so ordinary, so unassuming, that most people would spend it without hesitation. But what if I told you that this same penny could be worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, the 1976 Lincoln Memorial penny with a D mint mark, minted in Denver, has shocked collectors worldwide. One recently valued coin reached an astonishing $976,000 in today's market. Now stop for a moment. Let that sink in. 1 cent transformed into nearly $1 million. Think about what that could do for your life. Your debts erased, your dreams funded, your retirement secure. And here's the thing. This penny might already be in your possession, sitting quietly in a forgotten drawer, waiting to be discovered. But before you rush off to check your change jar, let me tell you the hidden story of why this coin is so valuable, and how you can tell if you hold the jackpot in your hands. Back in 1976, America was celebrating its bicentennial. Fireworks, parades, a nation proud of 200 years of independence. Millions of coins poured out of the Denver Mint. Most were ordinary, but a small number were not. Tiny errors, minute variations, the kind of flaws invisible to the casual eye. Some pennies struck slightly off-center. Others had double dies in the lettering. A few were created with an unusual shine, a proof-like quality. These mistakes, these anomalies, became treasures. Collectors are obsessed with them because rarity drives value. Think about it. You can find a 1976 penny at face value, but one with the right error can finance your entire future. And here's the suspenseful part. Many people threw them away, spent them, or left them rattling inside a coffee can in the garage. Right now, your neighbor could have one in their wallet. The cashier at your local grocery store might pass one across the counter without even realizing it. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Have you unknowingly touched a fortune? Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if my penny is one of the rare ones? Great question. Let's break it down. Look closely at the date 1976. Then, just beneath it, the letter D. That's your Denver Mint mark. Now examine the coin's details. Is the lettering doubled? Is the coin unusually shiny? Is the strike off-center, giving Lincoln a ghostly outline? If so, you might not just be holding a coin, you might be holding a life-changing opportunity. And don't forget condition. Grading is everything in the coin world. A flawless specimen with no scratches or wear can multiply its value tenfold. This is where million-dollar coins are born. So why should this matter to you? Because wealth doesn't always arrive as a paycheck or an inheritance. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, in the smallest, most overlooked corners of our lives. That 1976 D. Lincoln Memorial penny is proof that luck favors the curious. That fortune rewards those who take the time to look closer. But here's the catch, and this is where urgency comes in. The coin market is booming, but markets rise and fall. What's worth nearly $1 million today may not stay that way forever. If you have one of these coins, holding it too long could mean missing out. Now imagine this, you're sitting at your kitchen table, the coin in your hand. You make the choice to get it appraised, to verify its worth, to claim what is rightfully yours. One decision, and your financial life changes forever. Or you ignore it. You toss it back in the jar. And one day, someone else discovers it. Someone who cashes in on the $1 million prize that could have been yours. Which version of the story do you want to tell? So tonight, check your pennies. Look for 1976, the D Mint mark, the details that scream rarity. Don't wait. Don't assume it's just another cent. Because as history has shown, sometimes the smallest coin carries the heaviest fortune. And remember this, every great discovery starts with a single question. Do I have it? That question could be the key to your new life. Imagine this. You're digging through an old jar of coins, the kind that's been sitting in a kitchen drawer for decades. Pennies, nickels, a few dimes. Ordinary change. But what if I told you one of those pennies could unlock nearly $1 million? Yes, a single 1979 Lincoln Memorial penny with the tiny letter D under the date could be worth $979,000 in today's market. Now, before you laugh this off, let me ask you something. How many pennies have slipped through your fingers in your lifetime? Thousands? Tens of thousands? How many did you toss aside, thinking they were worthless? Here's the twist. The coin you once ignored could hold the key to living debt-free, retiring early, and even building generational wealth. And that's not hype. That's reality. But only for those who know what to look for. So buckle in, because the next 10 minutes might be the most profitable lesson you've ever heard. Let's step back into 1979. Jimmy Carter was in the White House, gas lines stretched for blocks, and the Lincoln Memorial penny was quietly rolling off the Denver Mint presses. Over 6 billion pennies were struck that year. So why on earth would one be worth close to $1 million? Here's the secret. Not all pennies are created equal. Some carry errors so rare, so unique, that collectors will pay staggering sums to own them. Think of it like a printing mistake in a classic book, except here the mistake is struck in copper. Now, before I tell you the exact error to look for, let me ask a question. Do you remember the first time you held money as a child and felt like it had magic in it? That same magic still exists, but it's hidden in the coins everyone else overlooks. So what makes the 1979 D penny so special? Well, there are certain varieties, double die obverse, striking errors, off-center cuts, that transform an ordinary cent into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. And when collectors compete for these, the prices climb into the stratosphere. But here's the kicker. Most people have no idea. They pass them on in change, they cash them in at Coinstar, they roll them up in paper sleeves. Meanwhile, a rare specimen is sitting quietly, waiting to be found. And here's where fear comes in. What if you already held one? What if you let it slip through your hands 20 years ago? That thought alone should make you want to go grab every coin jar in your house and start looking right now. Quick question. If I handed you a penny and said it could pay off your mortgage, would you still flick it into a fountain for good luck? Exactly. Let's get serious about pennies. Now, let's cut to the chase. The most prized 1979 D Lincoln pennies are those in pristine condition, uncirculated, with minting errors. One such coin recently shocked the market, fetching an eye-watering $979,000 at auction. Think about that. Less than $1 for lunch, turned into the price of a luxury home. Here's the urgent truth. Opportunities like this don't last forever. The market moves fast, collectors get more aggressive, and once these rare coins are in private hands, they may never resurface for sale again. If you're sitting on one of these coins, the window to cash in could close before you know it. But here's the good news. Every coin collector who ever struck it rich started the same way, with a single penny in their pocket. The difference between an average life and a wealthy one often comes down to knowledge. And now you have that knowledge. So what should you do next? Simple. Search your change. Open that old drawer. Go through the piggy bank, the dusty jars, the forgotten coffee cans in your garage. Because the coin that could change your life might be waiting there. And here's the final cliffhanger. If the 1979 D penny can fetch nearly $1 million, imagine what other coins hiding in your home could be worth. In our next video, we'll uncover another ordinary coin that has stunned the world with a value most people wouldn't believe. Imagine opening an old jar of coins in your garage. Dust clings to the glass. Inside are pennies you haven't touched in decades. Most people would laugh and say it's just spare change. But what if I told you that one ordinary-looking penny, minted in 1985 in Denver, could be worth more than a house? What if the coin you've been overlooking could be valued at an astonishing $985,000 in today's market? Pause for a moment. Let that sink in. We're not talking about gold or diamonds. We're talking about a 1-cent piece most of us used to leave in supermarket trays or toss in couch cushions. And here's the catch. Only a handful of collectors in the world know exactly why this coin is so rare. Today, you're about to become one of them. But before you start rummaging through your drawers, let me warn you. Missing this information could mean missing out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Because once collectors snap them up, the window closes, and the dream of turning a penny into nearly $1 million vanishes. So what makes the 1985 D Lincoln Memorial cent so valuable? On the surface, it looks ordinary. Copper-plated zinc, Lincoln on the obverse, the memorial on the reverse. But the truth hides in the details. One key factor is minting errors. Tiny imperfections that turn an everyday coin into a once-in-a-generation rarity. Some 1985 D cents show doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or striking anomalies that collectors obsess over. To you or me, it may just look like a faint line or a slightly misplaced letter. But to a trained collector, it's the equivalent of buried treasure. Here's a question to reset your attention. Have you ever argued with someone about spotting the difference between blue and navy blue? Imagine that argument, but worth nearly $1 million. That's what coin collectors do when they examine these details. Now, let's talk market reality. A pristine 1985 D with the right error in mint state condition has fetched staggering prices at auction. And right now, with demand rising and supply shrinking, one of these beauties carries a market value of $985,000. Think about it. How many investments in your lifetime have turned a penny into nearly $1 million? But here's the cliffhanger. Most people don't even know how to check if they have one. And some, tragically, have sold them off for face value. Imagine the regret of handing over generational wealth for just 1 cent. Here's the empowering truth. You might already own one of these coins. Could be hiding in an old wallet, a dusty piggy bank, or that coffee can in the back of your closet. And if you don't check, you'll never know. So how do you identify the real deal? Start with magnification. Look closely at the mint mark D. Is it slightly doubled or misaligned? Scan the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust for doubling. Inspect the memorial columns on the reverse. Tiny doubling there could be the jackpot. If your coin is bright, uncirculated, and shows these errors, you may be sitting on a life-changing fortune. Here's the urgency. Serious collectors are buying aggressively right now. Each year, fewer of these coins remain in circulation. Every coin that disappears into a private collection is one less chance for you to strike gold. And let me break the tension with a quick laugh. You know those times when you're frantically searching for your car keys, only to find them in your pocket? Imagine doing that but with $1 million penny. Yes, that's the level of absurdity we're talking about. Now, here's your final cliffhanger. Next week, we'll explore another coin that looks even more ordinary, yet its value rivals the 1985D. But if you walk away from this video without checking your coins tonight, you could be leaving generational wealth on the table. So the choice is yours. Will you keep seeing pennies as worthless copper? Or will you see them for what they really are, hidden keys to a wealthy future? Don't wait. Check your coins. Share this video with someone who might unknowingly be holding a fortune. And remember, sometimes the smallest treasures carry the greatest rewards. Imagine this. You're going through an old jar of coins tucked away in the back of your kitchen cabinet. You pull out what looks like an ordinary penny. Brown, scratched, nothing special. But then your eyes catch a tiny detail. A letter D right beneath the date 1996. Suddenly, that ordinary coin might not be ordinary at all. Could be the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth nearly $1 million. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "Come on, how can a coin from the 90s be worth that much?" Let me tell you, this is not a fantasy. Rare 1996 D mint Mark Lincoln Memorial cents have reached staggering values, with the highest recorded market worth soaring to $996,000. That's just $4,000 shy of a clean $1 million. And here's the question. Could you already have one hiding in your change drawer? Could your next step toward wealth, comfort, and financial security be sitting in your pocket right now? Stay with me because in the next few minutes we're going to uncover why the 1996 D penny has the power to change lives, how to spot if yours is the real treasure, and most importantly, how to turn it into a life-altering opportunity. First, let's set the stage. The Lincoln Memorial penny has been part of American history since 1959, replacing the wheat penny. By 1996, billions of pennies had been struck. Most of them were ordinary, forgettable, the kind of coins that sit at the bottom of a fountain or get lost under car seats. But here's where the story twists. Out of those billions, a rare fraction came out with the D mint mark that carried exceptional qualities, striking errors, flawless finishes, or unique conditions that collectors obsess over. Think of it like this. In a stadium filled with thousands of people, only one might have the golden ticket. This is where the excitement begins. Because while the average 1996 D penny is worth just a cent, the rare versions are commanding extraordinary values in auctions. One such penny, verified and graded in pristine condition, shattered expectations by reaching the current market price of $996,000. Yes, one coin, 1 cent, transformed into nearly $1 million. Now, here's the part that might keep you up at night. For every rare coin found, countless others are unknowingly spent at gas stations or dropped in vending machines. Imagine being the person who casually handed over a fortune just to buy a soda. That's the fear and the urgency that makes searching for these coins absolutely vital. You're probably asking, so how do I know if my penny is the right one? Great question. The key lies in details. Condition is everything. Coins in mint state, meaning virtually untouched, free from wear with sharp details, are the ones that bring life-changing values. Professional grading services can certify and appraise them, giving collectors confidence in what they're buying. But let me pause here for a humorous thought. Isn't it ironic? We've spent decades ignoring pennies, brushing them off as useless, even leaving them on sidewalks. And yet, the very coin we dismissed might secretly be worth more than our cars, our homes, maybe even our retirement savings. Makes you want to check your couch cushions, doesn't it? Here's where everything comes together. The 1996 D Lincoln penny is not just a coin. It's a symbol, a reminder that wealth can appear in the most unexpected places, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right person to recognize it. And let me leave you with a cliffhanger of sorts. Somewhere out there, right now, another 1996 D penny is waiting to be discovered. It might be sitting in a dusty coin jar. It might be in a handful of change at your local grocery store. It might even be in your pocket as you listen to this video. The only question is, Will you be the one to find it, or will you let it slip through your hands unnoticed? The time to act is now. Start looking through your coins. Learn to recognize the mint marks. Get familiar with grading services. And don't let doubt or procrastination rob you of a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Because when opportunity knocks, it doesn't knock twice. If one penny can be worth $996,000, imagine what discovering it could mean for your future. Security, freedom, a lifestyle where money worries fade into history. All from the most overlooked coin in American currency. So here's the invitation. Dig through your jars, search your drawers, and check every single penny that passes through your hands. Because the story of the 1996 penny isn't just about history, it's about destiny. And your next step could be the one that turns a single cent into $1 million treasure. Imagine this. You're at the grocery store. You hand over a penny without even looking. A single cent, forgettable, ordinary. But what if that very penny could have been worth $208,000? Yes, you heard that right. $208,000 for one of the most overlooked coins in America. The 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. Now, here's the fear. Every single day, someone unknowingly spends one of these rare treasures. They vanish into cash registers, vending machines, parking meters. Gone forever. Maybe it already slipped through your hands. And that thought alone is terrifying, isn't it? But stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll take you on a journey from the shadows of forgotten change jars to the heights of million-dollar collections. By the end, you'll know exactly how to spot, value, and even sell this elusive coin before it's too late. And a quick question to jolt your mind awake. When's the last time you even looked at a penny? Thought so. Let's start with the history. The year 2008 was supposed to be just another year for the Lincoln Memorial. Cent millions upon millions were struck, each stamped with either a D for Denver or no mark at all for Philadelphia. Most people never even considered these small details. But here's the secret. Among those countless coins, a small fraction emerged with microscopic errors, strange die varieties, and one crucial identifier: no mint mark, combined with flawless or nearly flawless condition. And that combination turned a 1-cent piece into a six-figure fortune. Now let me pause and paint you a picture. Imagine standing at a coin auction. The bidding starts low, maybe a few hundred. Then the number jumps. 10,000, 50,000. The crowd grows tense. A collector in the back raises his paddle. Suddenly, two bidders are locked in battle. 70,000, 100,000, 150. And finally $208,000. For a coin most people would overlook in the dust of a drawer. And if you're thinking, this could never happen to me, let me interrupt with a touch of humor. Did you ever expect a Beanie Baby to sell for thousands on eBay? Exactly. Rarity has no logic, only demand. But here's where it gets serious. Coins like this don't sit around forever. Every time someone cashes them in, another is lost from circulation. And every lost coin pushes the value of the survivors even higher. That is the urgency. So how do you know if you're sitting on a life-changing penny? Start by looking for three things. First, the year 2008. Second, no mint mark under the date. Third, condition, crisp details, sharp edges, and minimal scratches. The closer it is to perfection, the higher the price soars. And here's the cliffhanger. There's one hidden detail, a subtle marker only experts know, that can double or even triple the value of this coin. I'll reveal that in just a moment. Now let's talk about why this coin is commanding life-changing numbers. It's not just rarity, it's the narrative. Collectors crave stories, and the 2008 no mint mark penny carries one of the most compelling tales of overlooked value in modern coinage. Think of it like this. Every coin in your pocket has a past. Some have crossed cities, decades, even generations. But a rare 2008 no mint mark penny doesn't just hold history. It holds a hidden future. A future where your financial story changes overnight. And here's that hidden detail I promised. Many of the high-value examples show what collectors call a die alignment anomaly, a barely noticeable shift in the strike that makes the coin unique. If you spot it, your penny could be worth not just hundreds of thousands, but potentially millions. Let that sink in. Millions.so, here's the question. Are you going to ignore your pennies? Or are you going to hunt for them like treasures? Because right now, as you watch this, there could be a jar in your kitchen, a box in your garage, or a drawer in your desk with a penny waiting to rewrite your financial destiny. The fear is real. You could throw it away without knowing. The excitement is even greater. You could be one coin away from wealth. And the urgency? Every day, fewer of these coins remain in circulation.so. Tonight, after this video, I dare you. Open that jar. Search that pocket change. And don't stop until you've checked every single coin. Because the next fortune may not be locked in a vault or buried in a bank. It may be hiding in plain sight, in the palm of your hand. And if you want to turn your old coins into real wealth, subscribe, because I'll keep revealing secrets that most people will never hear. Secrets that can transform spare change into financial freedom. Because sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest story. And your story might begin with a penny.